Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is entitled Scritch Scratch. It was written by Lynn Hardy and friends. It's available from Chaosium as a free PDF. Our game master is Keith Craig, and this is a one-shot. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Keith?
All right. Thank you, Tom. Well, our scenario takes place in September of 2021. We find our investigators have been hired by a Mrs. Joyce Deakins to come to the northern England town of Muscoby to clean a house of the town's rat catcher, who was hurt in a rather horrific accident when he was hit by a tourist that was maybe had a few too many drinks at the local pub.
Awful.
Yes, we join our group of investigators as they are pulling up to the town of Muscoby. It is a quaint little English village of about 50 residents.
Is the name of the town is it Muscovy or
Muscoby? Muscoby.
Well, I think this is the place. You know the backstory, the rat catcher. I imagine people. I'm asking the players, the characters.
I'm not sure that I was aware that there still were professional rat catchers. That seems like a very medieval sort of activity.
Perhaps. Maybe they've got the rat infestation. I would think that a handful of cats would do the best job.
A basketful, perhaps. So, do we know for how long this rat catcher is going to be laid up?
I don't know, but I guess we're cleaning his house.
And perhaps it's full of cats, and that's why they need professionals.
Whatever's there, we'll get it on film.
Unmanaged cats.
You are good, Tom. You'll catch it.
If there's a good deal of fecal matter, then we need to, wear masks and everything.
Certainly. But he's the rat catcher, not the rat keeper.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Amanda, do we want to get an establishing shot here for the show of the Martins at the outskirts of town?
Oh, this would be. Oh, yes, please. I loved what you did last time with that approach and intro shots. This would be great for show opener.
Like last time, you want us to drop you off over there and then back up and drive in.
That's perfect. Yeah, anywhere along here.
All right.
Thanks.
You got the keys, Paul?
Well, the keys are in the ignition.
The keys to the house, you silly.
Hold on.
You do not.
I don't. Where did we leave the keys to the house?
I mean, she hired us. Didn't she give us means of access?
What you do notice as you're pulling up, you do see a blonde-haired woman, probably in her late 40s, and she's kind of looking down. And when she sees you, she kind of lifts her hand up and waves.
All right. So we'll drive just past the camera and then go to where she is and park the car.
Huh. Oh, you must be the cleaners that we hired, and this must be your television crew that documents your activities?
Yes, very nice to meet you. Thanks for your call.
Well, my name is Mrs. Joyce Deakins. I am the head of the Chamber of Commerce of this little town. And thank you for coming out. We hope that maybe this could be a mutually beneficial arrangement. We'll get the house cleaned up and get a little advertisement. We're trying to establish more of a bed and breakfast kind of town for the tourists that want to get away from the city.
Well, it certainly is a charming little place.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. We have you put up at the inn. It's got a pub downstairs. It's a rather a nice little place, the Golden Ram. Hope you don't mind.
How is Mr. Ratcatcher doing?
Oh, old man Gertine. Well, he won't be getting around very well anymore. They think he broke his hip.
Oh dear.
Yes, but he is still alive. But it's quite unfortunate. But for him, we're not even sure if he's going to make it back to his house. If he's going to be able to move in there, it's not set up for someone that's can't get around and take care of themselves anymore.
Is there a apprentice rat catcher to take his place?
There is not, actually. He for the past 20 or so years, he would try and get people to pick up the trade. It would, from what I understood, it was passed down from generation to generation, but he never settled down, never met a lady or had any offspring.
Well, it's not the most romantic profession.
Oh no, and personally, I think it's almost unnecessary. I mean, with chemicals, we can just lay out traps and catch the rats. It's not like there's a lot around here anyway.
Well, perhaps he did a good job.
Maybe.
Was he a municipal employee, or did the Golden Ram hire him to come around and rat catch?
He would work for the local businesses. We used to be a little bit more robust of a village, but most of the people that lived here, they've moved down south, and now they've just keep these homes for vacation homes. And now with the whole Airbnb thing, they're written it out that way.
Mm-hmm. So how long ago was Mr. Did you say Gertzie?
Gertine.
How long ago was his accident? Has the place been empty for a while?
Oh, he's been about a week now.
Okay.
Is he is he local, or is he in the hospital in village?
Oh, a larger village over in Applefords where he's at, which is about 20 miles as the crow flies. But as I'm sure you noticed, our English roads, they tend to meander a little bit more than they do over in the former colonies.
Amanda, do you think are we going to use Joyce as an on-camera? Do we want to do paperwork?
I think I was dropped off with Tom.
Yeah, you guys have probably walked up by now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just dropped you off right over there.
Oh, Shirley, what was that? I'm sorry.
This is Miss Deakins. I wonder if you want her to be an on-camera and do all the paperwork and get some shots now, or if we need to get to work.
Oh, yeah, if we can get a little intro would be great now. And we have our signing agreement too, that I'm sure you've had a chance to look at. Just please sign here and here.
Oh, of course.
It's just standard, just so you can be on film.
Oh, I understand. A release, yes. That makes perfect sense to me. So, what would you like me to maybe give a history of the village, or?
Oh, yes, please. Just speak freely.
Oh well, welcome to Muscoby. We're very proud of our ruralness. We are quite old. Our church was established over 500 years ago, and they think it was actually built out of old Roman stones. But of course, that's more of a local legend. Our most prominent claim to fame is that our local carvings, they inspired Robert Thompson's furniture. Are you familiar with them? We have some examples nearby. He was well known for always carving a mouse on his furniture that would sell.
Very quaint.
Goes, and she kind of indicates almost the very first buildings like this little tea shop. And she's like going, this of course is the our local tea shop. Our newest business was established by a Mrs. Lucy Albright. And as you can see, we're thriving. This is a popular place for the folks and all, and we're always open for business. Of course, in the summer, you can stay up all night. We're almost so far north that you get white nights, but
That's very charming. And this residence has been empty, you say, for about a week. The inhabitant was injured, and he was the town rat catcher.
oh yes, yeah, old man Gertine. Yeah, he it's his home he grew up in. Yeah, and like I said, he had a unfortunate accident. Uh, nothing with a village. It just sometimes people get hurt. About a week ago, and yep, no one's. We went by and saw that it needed some cleaning. And we thought we'd do a favor for the old man and get his house all cleaned up. That way, if he needs to sell it.
Well, I'm eager to see the job ahead of us. If you want to lead the way, you've got the keys.
Oh, of course. And she goes, here's a little map. She was like a little pamphlet of the village that she hands it to you. She gives you a nice little map there. So you got the little car park, and you walked up this way. There's Lucy's tea shop and the pub. That is the Golden Ram pub where they have you staying. And you can see that if you leave the village proper and go out along that little road there, that you'll get to old Gertine's college or cottage. She's like, of course, we could just drive up there. It is a decent walk, and he's carrying that. It looks like heavy equipment there. That camera.
We have a car. How about we both we drive up there and meet you there?
Oh, that'll be. I do. So she goes back, gets in her little car, and drives up there. As you go along, you notice that it doesn't take you long to get outside of the village proper at all. It's like maybe a block and a half long. And as you're driving along, you see that once outside the village, you start getting a lot more rural. And the further north you get, the woods are, you can see the woods up there, and they're getting thick. About a half mile from the where old Gertine's cottage is, you do see a footpath off to your right. And it's got like a little arch gate with a bunch of vines and clematises, flowers growing on it, and everything. And the sign says the church.
I don't know about you, Paul. I think this is a dinky little village, and I can't imagine vacationing in such a place.
Some people like very much to get away from everything so they can sit and read a book, listen to the crickets.
Yeah,
not my cup of tea, but
no, indeed.
I'm interested to find out if there's any more information about the old Roman findings here. Maybe there might be something significant found.
Well, Joyce would be tickled, I'm sure, to show you every old rock she could find.
That might add a fun spin to the story. If there's some Roman legend.
I'm not sure it would be that unusual. I mean, the Romans did occupy this territory for 1,000 years.
Every dinky little English village was like somebody slept there, or somebody ate there, or somebody died there. Or their church has the most famous, mushroom carving. Needs it.
So she pulls up and she stops, and the where you can park your car, all you can see is a large hedge fence, and then there's like this old rickety gate. Is the only way through into the hedge, but the hedge is at least 6.5 feet tall. So from your cars, you definitely can't see over it.
I'm kind of curious why old Gertine lived way out here in the outside. I would think that he'd live in the town. Where's he doing most of his rat catching? Is in the town, right?
Oh, yeah. And Joyce gets out of the car and she goes, well, here we are.
Oh, is the gate locked?
Oh no, the gate's not locked. The front door would be, and of course, here's the key. It's one of those like old timey keys on a big keychain.
So, what style house is it? Is it like an old Edwardian or something older?
Something older. It is a single story house, but it does have obviously an attic. And it's got the thatch roof in it.
Oh, I see. This is a village that has a rat catcher. Does it have a thatcher as well? Because I understand that's a very exacting trade, repairing these roofs every, what is it, 3-5 years?
Well, old Gertine, he did most of his maintenance himself. He prided himself on his self-reliance.
Probably comes from a long line of villagers who just maintain their own property.
Yes.
Shrubs.
Do we want film footage of the initial opening, or do we want to open it and take a look before we film?
But I think that it would matter. I mean, we would, get in there, look at what we see. Then I would wait in the house. You'd lock it back up, and then I would be inside filming as you guys unlock the door and walked in for the first time.
Yeah. There might be lighting issues to resolve before too. Set up a couple of reflectors so that when we come in, it's not just all black inside and us whited out. Yeah. All right, let's have a look-see and how bad it is.
You probably didn't realize Mystique in the way this YouTube video sort of stuff works.
Well, she accompanies to you as you go through the little wooden gate. It looks like it needs a little bit of paint on it, but the hinges, they don't creak or anything, so it seems like they've been maintained.
WD-4.
Yeah, the front garden is a little overgrown, but not to any of the neglect that you're used to seeing when you go to various buildings. She gets out the key and opens it up, and it opens up into a long hallway with 2 doors. And the
smells. Oh, sorry.
There are not actually. It smells, none of that reek that you're quite used to. Yeah. All right. So when you come in, the cottage. You've got a little pile of mail that like someone he's got like a little mail slot that they would have been delivered in, and about maybe a week's worth of mail piled up there. But besides that, the hallway is pretty much empty of anything except for a little dust, a week's worth of dust.
Mm-hmm. Well, not bad so far. I don't think anything's died in here.
And for ease, I'm going to show you just a quick little player handout of the map of the house. So that's where you came in, and one is where you're at currently, and it splits out. So of course, Miss Deacon, she goes, "Well, you guys are the experts. I'm happy to walk through the house with you, but I'll be honest, this is only about the second time I've been in here. I came by as a young child when his father died for the visitation, but he was kind of a loner."
Are there any other keys that will be needed for the house, or just this main front door key?
Just the main front door key. It's almost like a skeleton key. It'll fit the locks to his sheds that he has out back.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose we should go through the house to see, what would be good for filming and get some good up.
See what we can throw away and what we can keep. We're basically cleaning the whole place. Yes.
Oh yes, getting it all ready. ready to sell.
Well, I'm going to assess the situation. I'm going to pull out a notebook and walk through and see what kind of, if there's any damage or any mold or anything growing that we need to take care of.
Okay. All right.
I'll also start filming them doing this because,
Well,
we can stitch things back together. It doesn't need to be chronological in the way you present.
Yeah, editing's going to be fine with that.
All right.
And I should probably take the lead in opening doors and things, right?
I'll
Just
stay
so
in the
that we
back.
have a fresh take.
All right. Well, do you want the left or right door?
Let's, if we're logical about it, we could sort of do a clockwise thing around the house. We'll start on the left one nearest the door, and then work toward the back, and so on.
All right. So the left door, you open that up, and it opens up into what is obviously a dining room. The table has a very thick layer of dust.
Mm.
he hasn't used it in a while, so dusting.
There is a old-fashioned table in the center of the room that's covered in dust, and then next to it there is another little like a buffet table
Sideboard.
along the wall.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's got a covered with scrapbooks and stacks of newspapers and magazines, and it's got the scissors, so like you would see someone that does scrapbooking.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got a little bit of a hoarding tendency, and of course, as a man living alone, not much need for a dining room. Okay. Is there a door out of here to the kitchen, or do we have to go back to the hallway?
You need to go back to the hallway.
All right. So the second left.
So if you go straight ahead, the next left is actually the hallway left. And then in the hallway, there are 5 doors in the hallway.
Okay. And are they on both sides?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll just take the first left off that left.
All right. First left. That is the first left. This is you open up. There is a bed. This is a bedroom, and it looks like it is. This looks like it is been well used. There is a bed here that is made. The wardrobe. There's a wardrobe standing there because it doesn't have an in-wall closet. And there is a candle that looks like it's been burnt down, and he's got a pile of books piled up next to his bed.
Your rat catcher was a reader, I guess, Joyce.
Well,
Imagine not
apparently,
much else to do.
Yes. How? I mean, the village you say might be 500 years old. How old do you think this house is? I mean, these wide plank floors and all that. It seems quite antique.
oh yeah, I would say it's definitely into the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
He's
And you
quite-
think this might turn into some sort of B&B if Mr. Gertine can't come back and has to sell?
Oh, I could definitely see that. I mean, you're right next to the woods. There's a beautiful little footpath that goes out to the back. It needs a little bit of TLC to get it cleaned up, but it's on his property, so I figured that could be, be part of the contract and all.
Right. We saw the church from the lane, and that seems like it's probably a tourist draw.
Oh, yes.
The churches.
It's quite beautiful.
I'm a little curious as to what he was reading.
Well, you go over there and look at it. They are some romance novels and Louis L'Amour westerns.
Old-fashioned taste. Louis L'Amour. Stuff my father would have read.
All right. But there is only the door into here. There is a window, but it's looking right out to the hedge that kind of went around the house.
So am I seeing any kind of serious, heavy stuff that we're going to need to clean? I mean, they could have just hired a maid.
No. Yeah. In fact, you kind of, pretty obvious that, yeah, this is actually not a bad job. Or maybe what you've seen so far, if the rest house maintained this well, half a day at most.
But we might want to check out the basement or the attic. You know how sometimes they like cramming those full.
It's true. Well, let's get the whole downstairs first.
When you go back into the hall, if you can see up on the ceiling, of course, there's the attic entryway and the hallway, and across the way from his bedroom, you open the door, and here there is a sitting room. So in here there is there's no television. There's one of those old, great big radios that are probably still has vacuum tubes inside of it. And next to that there is a turntable and a pile of LP records.
What his taste in records is. So I'm going to take a look at the records.
Okay. So as you look at it, they're mostly of a 78 speed, so they're pretty old, and there's like 1930s, 1940s kind of music of that time frame.
Skin stuff my father would listen to. How old is Mr. Gutin? Or
Mr. He was born in 45, so he would be what's that making 76 years old.
It seems as though he inherited his parents' tastes. I mean, these things are you might be better off with an antique show than with us, honestly.
Oh, well, I mean, I've heard that some people like to collect records nowadays, and they're worth a good amount of money. But
if he passes away, does he have any next of kin?
Oh, no.
Yeah, some of these might be antiques in here.
Yeah, my mother told me that he was always a strange little boy, and that he didn't have a lot of friends. A lot of people would tease him about his father's job. Kind of sad.
It's very quaint, the whole thing.
No, yeah, I think it. Like I said, I haven't been here since I was a child, but it is nice. A little dusty, but that's to be expected. Single men.
Is there anyone in the town that might know him really well, or might know him the best of anyone in the town?
Oh, the only one that I could think would be old George. He's the father of the owner of the pub. He's a little bit younger than old Gertine, but they would have been close enough in age that they would have known each other. Not a big village, so generationals hang out together.
Maybe we'll drop by there this evening and just have
that might be good to get a little bit of that, just a snippet in the show.
Oh yeah, as you keep moving along, the next room is a restroom. In the bathroom, as you look around, you notice that it has one of those like footed tubs that you have to carry the water to. The house has not been piped.
Oof. You're going to have trouble renting this out if people staying here don't have working plumbing.
I'm guessing there's an outhouse.
There is a outdoor chemical toilet that he maintained. That's kind of gross, which was part of the reasons why we reached out to you. From what I'd heard, that the chemical toilets are quite nasty.
Indeed.
Yes.
Usually you don't clean those. You have them hauled away and you put in a fresh one.
Well, you are the experts, of course.
We'll have to see what can be done about that.
We've talked about this, saving your little fun facts and tidbits for when we're by, if you want to say that again, when we're out by the chemical toilet to hold, you replace them instead of cleaning them. It'll be it'll be great to get, but we need it in the context of the shot, you know.
All right.
Well, I assume that a
Right,
lot
so
of this
he-
we're just going to reshoot again, more
Yeah, we're-
smoothly.
We're scouting. So is there a shaved kit in here? A mirror?
There is not a shave kit. You get the impression that besides the bathtub, this probably wasn't used, and the bathtub's got like that like ring around it from water kind of sitting in it for a while.
Hmm. Do you know if it drains? Would you any idea where this? We'll have to figure out where this drains. Well, remind me to look outside, man. If there's a trough or it goes into the garden, for God's sakes. Okay. Onward. I guess we're going to see a wooden, a stone pit in the kitchen. A metal pot on a tripod.
And as you get, the next room is the kitchen. When you open it up, it is possibly the most outdated room in the whole building. It is a sturdy gas cooker, the oven and hob type with a cast iron kettle on top of it. There is you have a sink, again, a sink that you would need to bring the water in for it. And there is a back door. There is a back door in the kitchen also.
So is there a well and a pump?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, out back there's a well.
Oh, outside.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for practical purposes, Manda, we're going to have to arrange some kind of heating element so that we can pump water and heat it in quantity. That tub alone is going to take 40 gallons, I think, and some industrial bleach.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've got the right people we can get in here for the pump and such.
Out the kitchen door, I said there's a window in the kitchen door.
There is.
Is there a rear garden or?
Yes, there is. There is a back garden out there, and so when you look out there, it looks like he grew his own vegetables. So you can see the remnants of some tomato plants. Yeah, and you do see a back gate, and of course the hedge is also there. The back gate's built into it, but you can see above the hedge the forest.
Is this near the pathway that goes off into it, or is this farther away?
Oh yes, yeah. If you go right out that back gate, you get right onto the footpath that goes through the forest.
And is the outhouse or whatever visible out there?
Maybe if you you'd almost need to open the window to kind of stick your head out to see it, because it's
well,
look to the right. Yeah, you can't see it looking out. Yeah,
fair enough. All right, onward.
Onward. You got 2 rooms left. The next room opens it up, and you go in here. The dust in here looks quite thick, like it hasn't been touched in probably decades. There is a single bed, and there are twin wardrobes in here.
Now, do you suppose that little bedroom that he was using was his childhood bedroom, and this is his parents' room?
I don't know. Have we not run across more bedrooms? Just the one?
Just
So
one
far,
and
just
this
the
one.
one. Well, I'm going to have a quick look in the wardrobes and see if there's Ma and Pa night dress in there or something.
Yeah.
When you go in and open up the wardrobes, as you expected, there is a Ma and Pa's outfits, and they look like they haven't been touched in a while. Maybe a little moth-eaten.
Probably almost brittle. Tom, didn't you know somebody who worked on an antique show? I wonder if we want to get an expert in, 100-year-old junk for this, because that might be the most interesting thing, is how old this stuff is, how untouched.
I mean, I could ask around, but I mean, I know a couple of people, but I haven't worked on an antique show personally.
No.
Isn't that kind of up to Miss Deacon, because we're just here to clean?
Well, we're here to entertain too, after all, Paul.
Extreme cleaning.
You need something to work with. And what we've got is, the house of a shot in and never left his village.
Well, as I see it at this point, it's going to be easier. He doesn't have that much stuff. If we systematically take everything out of each room and then thoroughly clean the room, sweep and vacuum, and then clean
Probably
any
some
stains or paint if we need to.
Yeah, we could oil the wood. Could be a little bit interesting. The recovery of some of the wood
Do all of
furnishings.
Clean all of the linens, and he doesn't have a washing machine. I wonder if we could take some of the stuff in town with us. Surely the place where we're staying has washing machines and things like that. No need to go out and beat it against a rock.
Okay, one more room.
One more
that's
room?
where he keeps all the jellies or something.
Mm. Oh, the last room is the parlor. As you go inside, there is a tiled fireplace set in the outside wall opposite the door. There's a large mirror with a heavy gilt frame. And there's a photograph sitting on the mantelpiece of people wearing, looks like it was taken in the 50s. Most noticeably of all, there is a large painting on the wall of the Green Man, if you're familiar with that English thing, the guy made all plants.
Very popular.
Yeah, we might have found the only thing of value in the entire place. How old's the painting look? Or do you know anything about this, Ms. Deacons? Is there a local artist? This is kind of...
No, I don't know who would have painted that, but the Green Man, I mean, there's a few carvings of him at the church and everything. You know, it's a popular English tradition to have them in some of the older buildings and all.
Is there a signature on the painting?
There is not.
You know, it's one of the things about being in the US. We don't have as much pagan iconography sneaking into our Christian institutions the way it seems to happen in Europe with
Except
your
for
gargoyles and... Well, but they're not really in church, so...
I've seen Christmas trees in church.
They're not permanent fixtures at any rate. So that's and the photograph is I guess little Gertine and Pa Gertine and Ma Gertine.
That would be a safe assumption. A little boy in the picture is about 7-8 years old.
And I'm sure it's black and white. Do they look dour and miserable, or is it a festive scene?
It looks like they are just standing in front of the house. So Miss Deacons goes, well, that's the house. Now, of course,
isn't there an attic?
Well, there is, but
There's also some
I don't want to go up there.
outbuildings.
Yeah, there's some outbuildings and all, but you know, this is home.
Well, you know, Miss Deacons, if you'd like to leave, we can always ask you back for any filler. But,
Okay. Yeah. Here's the keys, and she hands it over to Shirley. She goes, "I'll be if you need to get a hold of me, Mrs. Lucy Albright. She knows how to. She has my number."
Oh, and you said there was a basement as well, or no basement?
There's no basement.
No basement. Okay.
No basement.
But there seems to
sorry.
be some outbuildings, workshops. And
Perfect.
No cellar or anything?
No. I'll bid you all adieu.
Thank you very much for your help, Ms.
Mhm.
Deacons.
Au revoir.
She walks on out.
Well, you're right, Paul, that you should look at the chimney, but really she hasn't given us a lot to work with here in terms of anything entertaining.
Surely
have
they
a-
have. Sorry.
Paul.
For sure, they must have a chimney sweep out in this area, if not in this town or somewhere next.
If a rat catcher and a chimney sweep aren't the same sort of job.
Well, except that people still have chimney sweeps. You got to clean your chimney once a year.
Well, and
Do they have a yellow pages? Or let me check on my phone and see. Is there any? Do I have reception out here?
Give me a luck roll.
I got an 84.
You do not.
Shit.
Oh, phooey.
yeah, I mean,
I'll look around for a phone. Is there a phone?
There is not.
Oh,
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
all right.
All right.
Paul, do you want to look at the attic?
I'll take a look at the attic.
I bet you that's where
Also,
it's
the
at.
outbuildings. We need to see. If they're going to rent the place, then they can't have axes and nail guns and things.
Well, more to the point, they're going to have to put they're going to have to put water in. Obviously, nobody in the 21st century is going to rent this dump without running water.
Yeah, maybe you'd be.
They'll have to put an
surprised,
ensuite into each of the bedrooms if they can. But I don't know what the historical preservation rules are like for a dinky little village like this.
out of this country. Yeah, probably not so great, especially the
wonder.
places. Would you say, Keith, that our impression is the place is fairly sturdy, or that it could be torn down sometime? Okay.
No, it's well made.
I mean, if the question is whether they can keep a roof on it, because again, like thatching a roof is the sort of thing that not a lot of people know how to do any longer.
Yeah.
That'll just turn into mold in 10 years in this rain. And
Oh, but there's companies up here that specialize in that.
No, they're
There must be.
expensive. If the town's going to have to put a lot of money into this. I saw the hatch in the hallway, but I think I'm going to need a ladder. So I'm going to go check the outbuildings, see if there's a ladder.
All right.
I'll come with you, Paul.
Yep, following around, getting footage as always.
Well, when you go out the back, you of course have to walk past the back gate to kind of go around the corner to where the buildings are. They're on the right-hand side of the house if you were facing it. The first one is obviously the outdoor toilet.
Yeah.
And it smells like a toilet.
All right, here. Do we want to get that shot with Paul explaining this?
This is a toilet. As you can see, it's a hole in a plank.
what are we dealing with here? Is it's a permanent building, but it's got a miniature cistern inside, or what is?
Or is it the latrine that you have to?
Or is it a pit?
It's a pit.
It's a fucking pit.
Right. So we just fill that in. I mean, that's not a cleaning job. That's a demolition job.
Yeah, chemical, charcoal.
Yeah.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
And then,
All right.
Does it have a little moon cut at the door?
Sure. Yeah. A little traditional. Yeah.
and this looks like
The
storage room.
Yep. The next room open. When you open it up, you see there's lots of bottles and metal tins, and you can give me a chemistry or biology roll.
Chemistry. 39 out of 70. So almost a heart. I mean, almost a heart. But
So you recognize many types of poisons and pesticides, like bromadiolane, difenacum, and a lot of these have been outlawed for years.
yeah, not surprised. There could be some toxic things. We will want to dispose of this stuff, but we
Yeah,
want
Amanda,
to dispose of
wouldn't-
it legally.
When you get phone service, that might actually be an interesting scene, who you call to dispose of things that probably have been outlawed since the 70s, that this old crank was still using to poison the local rats and children.
Oh, yes. I've got the whole list of our contacts for our various vendors that specialize in these.
Because this seems like the kind of nonsense that has to go into a lead drum that gets buried by the government somewhere.
Or it can actually just be neutralized with certain other chemicals. But it has to, I mean, it's the kind of stuff you don't want to get on your skin.
Oh, yeah. This is full on hazmat suit nonsense. As far as I'm concerned, that toilet is too.
Well, yeah. You definitely don't want to get some disease.
Anything useful, like a ladder in there, step stool?
Well, this seems to be some sort of chemical storage area. Let's check over here. This looks like the workshop. Is there a ladder?
Yep. So when you go into the workshop, there is a ladder, and you also see lots of other various, looks like homemade traps, and he's got a grinding wheel.
Oh.
He's also got like some of those man catcher things you would have. They're a long pole that you could put around someone's neck. Yeah.
With the cable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like catching snakes and raccoons. It's something you don't want to get near to. Yeah.
So pretty ghastly.
Looks like he made a lot of this stuff himself. That's kind of handy. I guess that's his job. Here's the ladder. Let me go ahead and take it inside.
Tom, can you pan around here? And is there? Well, I guess you do the filter and post. But I'm thinking, this reminds me of the. What is it? In Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, there's that child snatcher person. With the hat and mustaches. I think. I mean, this is the sort of grim. Do we clean this stuff or burn it in a pit? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's picturesque, right? It's interesting. Make good copy.
Well, I've been getting raw footage of all the rooms of the house for the before and after, so we can show what it looked like before, and then once you're done.
There is a species of consumer that if you advertise this place as the creepy old rat catcher's house, they would love to stay here. And you could have some of these things hanging on the walls, in the kitchen.
No, that's true. Instead of burning them, they could preserve them with, poly something and use them to decorate. Put some taxidermy in there.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Get rid of the chemicals, but the items would be great. Good for ratings too for our show too. Last week's we were up a bit, so this might be a boon for us.
Actually, fixes place up really nice.
We should find one real mess though that we can tackle.
I was actually thinking, if we find a bunch of junk in the attic, we could bring it down into the house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
then clean it out so that it looks like there's more mess.
Well, we do that every week.
Not with that Marge. What the hell was her name? Marge Humphreys? Oh my God.
I mean, she invented black mold as far as I can tell. Good God.
Yeah.
She had colors of mold I've never even heard of growing in her place. All right, let me go check inside the attic, see what's up there.
All right. So when you open up the attic hatch, a cloud of dust comes down right into your face. As you crawl up there, the attic is a cold and musty. And what are you using for your light? You got like a flashlight or something?
I've got a some lighting thing on my camera or something.
Yeah. But as you swing the flashlight around, you see that there's numerous toy chests and suitcases and piles upon piles of old newspapers. And then give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. 45 out of 65.
But as you swung it around, you saw a bunch of pairs of reflective eyes hiding down there, and probably about 20 or 30 different sets.
We've got rodents up here.
Here, climb. Okay.
Rodents in the rat catcher's house? They're probably cats, right? Doesn't smell like cat though.
They're not the size of cats. They're smaller.
But it's the rat catcher's house.
Yeah, well, he apparently catches them and puts them up in his attic. No, I just think,
this is great stuff.
Everybody's got
Keep it
rats. Everybody's got rats.
Want
You
to
see
some suitcases and some. There might be some old antiques up here too. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but they're gonna have rat shit on them if you're right.
Meh.
Ugh.
Rat shit.
Here, do you want to hop down so I can get it?
Yeah, I'll come down.
Yeah, do a spin around, Tom, for God's sake.
Be careful, Tom.
I'm always careful.
You can catch the light in their eyes if you use the.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
So when you get up there, you kind of spin around. Yeah, you see the reflecting, and now that you're kind of aware, you also hear that little skittering sound when the light hits in. It's like,
yeah, certainly getting sound recorded, getting the little shot around.
We can catch a lot of those with a pickle barrel.
So I guess we've got two themes now. One of them is gruesome antiques roadshow, and the other one is,
Hoarders. Well, not hoarders.
the irony of the rat catcher who's got rats. There's a sort of I don't know. There's some way to spin that. Oh, I don't want to. Well, maybe we'll see whether those tools of his work.
Is there
Honestly, though, go ahead.
I was going to ask. This is a question for Keith. Are there any traps up here?
there are not.
Okay.
It may be that he hasn't come up to this attic. There's a lot of dust. He hasn't come up here for 10 years.
No, but you hear them at night, and if your job is to kill rats.
And they wouldn't just stay up there. They would come down into the house and raid his kitchen.
It doesn't make much sense, but I mean, I've met more than one medical doctor whose house was filthy, and you'd think that somebody who was that hygienic would clean their house. But
do you remember that dentist we cleaned for about a month ago?
Yeah. Why he was collecting dentures, I don't know.
Ugh.
That was just creepy.
Still turns my stomach.
I'll step all the way up into the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough room to stand?
There are no windows up there, are there?
There are not.
No, it's
Really?
completely dark, but I want to look at just because you said there's stacks of newspaper.
Yep, there are.
What is the top? What is the date on the top?
The date on the top would be 1975.
Oof. What's the date on the bottom one?
You want to dig?
Nope.
It'll just be dust, of course, falling. All right, so let's take 5. See, I'm going to see if I can figure out how the stove works at all. Obviously, the interesting thing is in the attic, so we should figure out how to light that for a gradual exploration, right?
Once you get some lighting on it, then I want to pull all that stuff down. We'll pull it all down. And then
Were there any other exterior? Oh, sorry.
What was that?
Were there any other exterior buildings, or did we get them all?
Nope, you hit all the exterior buildings. There was the back gate that led to the path that she had said was also part of the property.
Yeah, let's go out to the forest and get some fresh air and talk through the afternoon plan.
It might be nice to just take a little walk, a little bit up there, just to show. Maybe what do you think, Tom? Get a couple shots of this inviting path up, or maybe shots from the path coming to the cottage. That might look good.
That's you, Tom.
You're the director. I'll get any shots that you want.
Yeah, just a quick one. We don't have to go too far out, but just for a little bit. Might make a nice coming back from commercial break. So,
Let's do it, and then we can start. What time of day is it? Is it still morning?
Yeah, it's probably you walk through the house, probably getting 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. So we can have a chat, set things up, go into town for, I guess, a pub lunch,
yeah,
which Amanda means only one drink.
okay. I'm good. I'm working.
Me too. I'm speaking for both of us. And then we can get some proper, I'd see it's September. This far north, it's going to get dark, but we could do some moody stuff. Maybe around the outer buildings as dusk sets in. Does that make sense, Tom? Probably gets dark, what, 5:30?
Yeah, filming in the dark, low light conditions, not a problem. I know how to. I've worked on shows where darkness was key.
Looks like darkness is going to be key to this one to some extent.
I am going to quickly look in the tool shed, see if there's a bucket of some sort, preferably like a pickle bucket size.
Pickle bucket size? Yes, there is. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a tool like a mattock or an axe or broom?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to take those and I'm going to check the kitchen to see if there's any pasta or seeds or anything of that nature.
Was there even an icebox? You mentioned the gas stove.
There was what looks like an ice box, but it would have been the kind that you had to actually put ice into.
Is there electricity here?
No.
Oh.
He's using a candle in the bedroom.
So what I'm going to do is a makeshift mouse trap. It's I just put the pickle barrel with some food of some sort in the bottom of it and lean the broom up against it. The mice will run up the broomstick and jump in to get the food, but then they won't be able to get out because the sides of the bucket are to catch hundreds of mice that way.
Did you think there were mice up there or rats?
Well, mice or rats are not going to be able to get out once they fall in.
Well, can't rats climb vertically?
They can, but not the plastic of the pickle barrel. It's too high. It's too slip.
Do you put water in or something so they drown? Or you just what do you do when you've got it? You just let them eat each other?
No, you put a lid on it. You can put a lid on it and drown them afterwards, but you just want to catch them. I'm just talking about, I want to get rid of the rats. I don't want to be working up there with 100 rats running around. Let's just get rid of most of them.
As long as we get enough footage of scurrying first so we can fill in.
Yeah. We could just film that we caught 20 rats in the first 10 minutes of so that when we come back, we can see how bad the infestation is.
All right. I'll film you setting it all up.
Stop arguing with me, Shirley. I know it's your show, but come on. I know what I'm doing.
Well, you're always right, Paul. You're always right.
Oh, Shirley. You shouldn't have.
This is where I take a shot from my hip flask.
Okay.
I do have the problem that I think that I'm always right, but I make up for that by always being right. All right. Let's go take a walk and then we'll go get some food.
Okay. So who will be the first one through the gate? Okay. So Tom, when you first open up the gate, you see when you first look up in the trees, it looks like he's hung like this brown bunting all in the trees. But as you look a little bit longer, you notice that it's hundreds of mice and rats strung up by their tails tied to the trees. And as you look down on the forest floor, there's probably about an inch of bones. And you can give me a sanity roll for seeing this.
72 is a fail, and I'm just.
That's 1d3 for just like, ugh.
Oh,
Tom, are you okay?
oh, it's disgusting.
I know you shouldn't be taking sips from your flask this early in the day, Tom.
It's a. Oh,
Holy
they
crap.
strung all the rats up with the trees. There's piles of bones. Look at this.
God. Do we
Um,
take sand rolls too, I'm guessing?
Yeah, when you kind of come out and you see it. Yes.
Well, Tom, we've got some interesting visuals at last.
do we back up through the gate and have Tom filming us coming out and going, oh,
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ew.
Yep. So I'll now that I see that they're not all gonna throw up. I mean, it's repulsive enough that you still don't have to act seeing it twice.
The smell of dead animals is pretty nasty too.
Yeah.
Even old dead animals is pretty bad.
He's been doing this forever. He doesn't. Why the hell did deacons think that you could take a charming stroll through the woods through this gate? Nobody.
He did. She thinks we're going to clean this all up.
And she's
Right,
only
it's still his
price.
property.
Our price just keeps going up. I think that there's going to be more here that she didn't tell us about that we get to discover along the way.
didn't she say she was only here twice though before? So she doesn't know this place in and out.
She said that, and
Yeah.
she's certainly told us that. I mean, it's hard to call somebody up on the phone and be like, "Hey, can you come clean up like 1,000 rat carcasses from the back of this old guy's house?"
It's going to make for some interesting video.
Now, wouldn't you think that there'd be a bunch of happy owls or something helping out? Like, why are they just piled up here? Shouldn't somebody they have fox, right? Don't they have foxes in England? Why did the fox come and eat all the rodents?
Maybe he's poisoned everything around the area.
Oh,
There's a
yeah,
lot of
all that poison.
That could be if they're poisoned. They might.
How far from the gate does this pile of detritus extend? Is it just a single band, or does the bunting go on and on?
It is about 20 feet deep.
away from the house along this path.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a path through it?
Yep.
Or is it in the path as well?
Some's in the path. You imagine if you walked on it, you'd hear the bones kind of crunching.
Yeah, well, let me get to the other side of it, and then I'll film you all.
Discovering it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the woods are about, maybe about 5 feet away from the gate.
Stepping out of the way so I'm not in the shot.
Yeah, there's a hedge there you can hide, man. All right, so yeah, just thumbs up when you're ready, Tom, and we'll. All right, swing the gate open, step out, it's forest. Oh, look.
Dear God.
Oh, it's all vermin. Oh, they're everywhere.
It's a rodent graveyard.
Well, if only they were graves. We're going to need a backhoe for this, Paul. I'm not going to shovel these bodies.
We're going to need hazmat suits and big, gigantic plastic bags.
Or maybe drums we can shovel this in.
Well, we got to haul the drums around. It's easier to haul the plastic bags. We get the ones they use for fumigation. They're heavy duty.
Little bones look awfully pokey. Do do we want to move into the forest after all?
Let's see how deep it goes.
Step careful. Oh,
As they're walking towards me, I start walking backwards.
Okay. Well, as you're walking backwards. Tom, give me a spot hidden.
$21 is a hard success.
Well, as you're walking backwards, and when Paul and Shirley start getting into the forest, you're kind of looking through the little islands of your camera. You could have swore that one of the trees there for a moment, it looked like a human face looking down on them. And then the wind kind of blew, and the image was gone.
Place is giving me the creeps. Giving me the creeps.
Creeps to sell, advertising. The video. Well, this is creepy. Where does the path look like it goes?
So it kind of lead. It goes out to the northwest for a bit, but after you get about 30 feet into it, it starts arcing down south, and feels like it's going to come back around. If you remember from the pamphlet, it leads to the back of the church.
Okay. Well, let's keep going. So all the way to the back of the church. How far in does the
20 feet.
Drape? It's about 20 feet, and then it slacks off.
Yeah.
Crazy old man. I wonder what kind of accident he had. Did I hear somebody say he was hit by a car?
Yep. All right. Everyone give me a dex roll.
Oh, rat man.
87 is really bad.
I missed it by 7, but I'll spend 7 points of luck to not fall into the carcasses.
Yeah.
16 is almost extreme.
Nice. Amanda?
Passed 1 point from a hard.
All right.
It was nice knowing you all.
Yep. So you shouldn't go walking in the woods with your characters. so
walking backwards, still making everyone else walk down the path. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. So as you do trip over a root and kind of fall backwards, and give me a luck for the camera.
Oh, did the camera get
injured? 14. That's
all right. Yeah. You're able to kind of sacrifice yourself, but you hit the ground kind of hard and take 1 point of damage as you just kind of fell backwards and.
Oh my God! Is the camera okay? I mean, Tom, are you okay?
The camera's fine. I'm less fine, but I'm okay. Oh.
You need help getting up?
It's just a heavy camera. Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Okay. And Paul, you could give me a spot hidden as you're helping him up.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
9 to 9.
All right, yeah, you help him up, no problem.
No, you need to grab my hand. Don't poke my eye out.
I pull him out and go, you can be replaced. But the camera's expensive.
Do you want to take a breather at the creepy old church before we go back through that? Go back to assess. We should take some stills too of that rodent mess. So we can figure out what kind of
get some close-ups.
Yeah, I was doing that before you all came through the gate.
Okay, that's something.
But I was thinking of getting you footage of you walking down the path, and then we could time lapse it to have you traveling from the house to the church and then back from the church to the house.
As long as you and the equipment are intact.
Yeah, so I'll keep walking backwards to film you, but Banda, if you want to be looking behind as I go,
guide you, make sure you're good.
Okay.
So I'll rush from the back all the way to the forward area and then cover for Tim.
Okay. All right. So you rush forward, and you're kind of covering. You guys make it around the path, and you see the old back of the historic church. She described, it is does look like it's quite old. It's the Church of England is the denomination, but it does have the fence around it, and of course the church graveyard is right there also.
No, go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying, as we go by, I'm going to glance over at some of the graves and see what dates we're hitting. Are like 1600s, or like to see old graves.
Mm-hmm. So as you go by, some of the graves are several hundred years old, and you can just barely make out the beginning of the year of death, like 16 names completely
It's
worn
an old
off.
church, pretty old church. Maybe when you work up we're in Muscoby, England, show the old historical church, things like that, and then the rat catcher's house.
You said the last newspaper you saw up there was from the 70s, Tom?
Yeah, 75, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
I guess we'll find old Pa Gertine somewhere around here. That date. I wonder if they carved a rat on his tombstone.
You think they buried him here?
Probably.
They're the
Probably
closest people to the church.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find the graveyard. Can we go into the
Mhm.
churchyard?
Yep.
Yeah, look around. Entrance.
They're all
So-
old graves, but
The path past the bones to the churchyard.
Hmm.
It's a clear path. It's well trodden.
Not
I would-
well trodden, but it was looks like someone at one time had laid some gravel down, so it's but you do have the plants that are pushing through it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think a lot of churchgoers were taking a stroll through the woods to the rodenticide.
no, but probably with the graves, they probably had mice and rat problems at the church. So maybe that was one of his main clients, was going to the church and making sure there were no
That was
rats.
so morbid, Paul.
I mean, it's just practical. It's like being in a scary movie. So if I understand it correctly, they fill up sections of graveyards at a time. So all we have to do is find the ones that are around the right date, and we should, we don't have to look in the 1600s area or any of that stuff to find this guy.
I mean, is this church still actively used, or it's just a historic ruin kind of place?
It's the village church. I don't think that, it might be small, but it's not going to be abandoned.
Is there a name?
Name of the church?
Saint Boniface,
Saint Raticus.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Church of Muscoby. Very creative.
Oh,
Not church of get the hell out of here as fast as you can.
is there a posting board that says services at 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning? Or
if you kind of look, you can see through the door that they've got the little posting board inside.
All right,
inside the.
so it looks like it's actively used.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can find the grave of old.
Yeah, we should get a shot of Papa
Gertine.
Gertine's grave.
Okay. So you gotta search around and just give me a luck roll to see how long it kind of takes you to find it.
I didn't pass.
All right.
97.
63 out of 48.
You'll be out here searching around for 20, 25 minutes before you kind of come across. Oh, there's the
Here we
Gertine
go.
plot.
Gertines.
Mm-hmm.
So what names do we have? Who are the dead Gertines?
Okay, the dead Gertines. You have Oswin and Joyce. They're the most recent ones. And Oswin passed away in 1975. Joyce passed away in 1973.
I guess Joyce is a popular name in this one horse village.
That awesome isn't.
Yeah, no, indeed. And there aren't any other associated Gertine headstones with related names?
There are other Gertine headstones here, but they've got
Beloved
older,
Grandpa.
older names on it from further back.
All right. I think we need to get down to business. If we're going to go into town and visit the pub, let's do that quickly. Because I'd like to get at least somewhat started today.
Oh, yes. We need to keep on
We're
the
wasting the
timetable
day.
here.
Do you think it's shorter to go back through the mess? Or do you need more footage, Tom? Or should we go around the long way and avoid that?
I would prefer we go around the long way.
Let's go right. You can see the road from here. Just go that way and then back the road to the house.
Yeah, I don't think we want to spend a moment more around those bodies without it being necessary for cleaning or filming.
Well, are we going to walk into town or?
Oh, let's drive. I mean, we've been walking quite a bit.
All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's about a 3/4 mile walk from the church back to the back to old Gertine's place. If you go take the footpath and walk the road, so it's not bad. Not
Right,
bad
and
walk at
actually,
all.
it makes sense because we can get some supplies in town and put them in the truck that we wouldn't want to carry. Like if they have heavy duty construction bags and that sort of thing. And
Yes.
But at least bleach and gloves and
Maybe a flashlight or a lantern.
Well, my guess is that we would have brought some cleaning supplies with us. That's why we were here. So
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah, I'm sure
expected
you
more
would have.
mold. So we've got what is it? I don't know if they have hantavirus here in England, but that's something that goes with mice and rodents in the United States.
Mhm.
Certainly we'll want respirators and backups and everything, but probably there isn't much in this town. We'll need
No.
to make it.
I would have brought that stuff with us because I expected mold. And hazmat suits or the white.
Just tie back. Yeah.
All right.
And
Let's-
before we head back to town, we could do the rest of the whole reveal of the house of you guys walking in, and
Yeah.
we still have daylight.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys go back and you do the shot and everything. And when you go into the back, everyone give me a spot hidden.
Ooh, a hard.
95. I am focused on my job. Write down that camera.
55 out of 65. Regular.
Regular here.
All right. So as you come back around and as you're looking around, Amanda, because you got a hard, you could have swore the woods look like they're 4 feet from the back gate, and you could have swore they were 5 feet before.
So I would have sworn that the woods were just a little bit farther away before. Maybe it's the shadows.
Probably.
Does anyone else notice this?
Think the woods are creeping up on the house?
Yeah, it must be the shadows. Must be the time.
Sounds like we're in Macbeth now.
Oh yeah, Beth.
It's your imagination. Let's get what shots we need to get done before it gets dark.
Yeah, I want something from the back hedge of like me pointing from the from the garden at the strung up rats. Are they tied to a line by their tails? The ones that are
Yes.
still hanging?
Yep.
Is it twine or wire or
Jute.
jute?
Probably
Well-
like a twine or not a metal. Mhm.
While they're filming that, like any very smart person would do, I'm going to go off and just sort of circle around slowly the house to see if there's any other good angles while Paul, Shirley, and Tom are doing the shoot there.
Okay. All right. So you guys are doing the shoot. Amanda, while you're walking around the house, as you're kind of going along the back, give me a combined spot hidden dodge.
Spot hidden. That's what.
Yep.
Ooh, spot hidden's a complete fail.
All right. So
And then a dodge, you said?
well, combined. So if you failed one, you
Failed
you
them both.
failed. Yep. So
Oh,
as
yeah.
you're
It was a hard.
yeah, Bard fell. All right. So as you're walking along the back, suddenly you get feel this little bump against your right shoulder. And when you do that, you see that one of the dead rats had fallen onto your shoulder. And yet you're like 4 feet from the woods. And you give me a sandy roll for the dead rat landing on you.
Oh, no, that's a big fail.
She's gonna scream.
Okay. 1d4.
Oh, God. 2 more.
So, yep. So you got
Ah!
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
that
it sounds
Amanda?
like Amanda.
So I go running back. There's falling dead rats over here. I kind of look up like, where the heck did that come from?
yeah. And as you look up, I mean, there's no branch above you, no twine above you.
They're coming to get you, Manda.
Does she have some putrescent rat schmutz on her shoulder?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Eh.
whisker or something.
You're gonna need to change the jacket too. Man, that's
Oh, I'm gonna have to wash my hair.
You don't think we should recreate that for the show?
I mean, if this was the last show I was on, we would have done that intentionally from the get go.
we could we can send away for a rubber rat and drop it on me. If it seems worth the effort. But I'm not gonna have one of those things fall on me, and
It's
Yeah.
just disgusting. No idea where it came from.
it came
Well,
from the
Yeah, the
strings
dead
of rats.
No, I mean, I
Probably a bird grabbed a hold of a rat and dropped it when it got over you.
Oh,
It must have been.
how are we for bird
Must have
song?
been.
It is. You don't hear any birds.
How are we for flies?
Nope.
Yeah, man. I did you touch the thing that fell on you?
I flicked it off. I should wash my hands
Go
or
wash
maybe
your
get
hands.
a wet nap.
Oh, you can't wash your hands here. There's no
Well,
water.
there's
We
a
have
pump.
wet naps in the car.
There's
Oh,
the
that's probably
well.
better. Let's check the pump before we go to town. Maybe we should buy a few gallons of spring water or something too. But let's see if this pump works at all.
Who's going to pump it?
Paul, come on,
Yeah.
be a man for once.
Oh.
Jesus.
It takes a while, but yeah, it
gotta
gets
prime
it
it,
gets
yeah.
flowing. Yeah.
And it smells okay. It's not red or green or
Yeah, it smells potable.
all right. We should still get some water in town.
I would. You don't know
But we
back
can at
here.
least use this for cleaning if the well's functional, which is good news because we don't want to bring up.
I've got disinfectant in the car.
Mhm.
So let's use some of that because
Yeah.
you don't know what kind of germs are on that thing.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's get into the village and refresh ourselves,
Yeah.
and then we can figure out the afternoon.
All right. So you guys go back to the car. Who's going to be the driver? Okay. Paul, give me a listen roll.
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay. Yeah. The car starts up. Okay. You guys head back in.
All right.
Okay. It's not a very far drive, so you make it back into the village. Where were you going to in the
We're
village?
gonna park next to the pub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Golden Ram. Maybe that'll let Mandy like change into something that doesn't have rat on it.
Yeah, I'll take this off.
We're staying here, aren't we?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we probably have things in the. I assume we're driving an SUV or something. We can take those into the Ram and meet the proprietor and take a minute to refresh ourselves and wash off any decayed rodent.
See what people think of the rat catcher.
Yeah, especially old George if he's around.
All right. Well, as you guys are getting out of the vehicle, walking away, everyone can give me a spot hidden.
87. I'm taking shots of the building.
Yeah.
82. 82. I'm pointing.
Okay.
Yes.
55 out of 55.
All right. So the two that passed, you kind of glance back to the vehicle, and you see a little red fluid kind of dripping off the undercarriage up where the engine would be.
What the hell? I'm gonna pop the lid.
But when
Leaking oil?
When you pop the hood,
Radiator fluid?
you see bits of rat. It looks like it got caught in the serpentine belt
Ugh.
and drowned. And it's like the blood kind of dripping down.
Pass my sanity roll.
Yeah.
Disgusting. See if we can. If somebody's got a hose, we'll ask the proprietor when we.
Oh, that's 1 point for seeing the ground up rat in the serpent.
That's 5 now. Down 5.
You know, the ground up rat reminds me of something. When we return to the house,
Mm-hmm.
I guess since we forgot to ask, I guess we must have forgot to check as characters, but Paul had set up that little broom bucket trap before we went on our little walk around. Did they actually catch any rats?
Well, I figured we'd check when we got back after the pub.
Check
Okay,
when we
so
return.
we haven't
We're not
checked
going to
it
be
yet.
there.
Okay.
We didn't check.
All
I
right.
set it up in the attic.
The little devils are everywhere. I mean, what if so many of them hop in the bucket
Like
that
he's
it
not-
pulls it down?
Like he's not doing his job, the rat catcher.
No, he's doing his job, I would say. I mean, all those there's a monument to his work.
Certainly were a lot of them caught.
I've seen more rats today than I've seen in the last 10 years, it seems like.
Ugh.
In the attic, there were so many little lice. Oof. I mean, you're next to a forest. There's going to be wildlife.
No, not
Usually-
forest. I think again that our old friend was using enough poison that there's nothing. There's not a songbird within 20 feet of that house. They've all picked out a dead rat eye that had enough poison in it to kill it. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna need good respirators.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll tackle the house first and then deal with that stuff in the yard
Yeah.
after we get supplies.
All right.
So, we assume we can check into our rooms and wash up and things, and then
Yep.
meet in the pub for lunch.
Yep.
Introduce ourselves.
When you guys get to your rooms, I assume Paul and Shirley, you guys are same room.
Yes, it's an economic necessity.
Yep. You notice that the furniture is all kind of decorated like this. So here's a picture. So you see it's got the little mouse on like the ashtray. The table's got the mouse carved into it.
What the hell?
This whole goddamn place has a problem.
Yeah, this is that. Was it Roberts? She said.
Robert Thompson.
Robert Thompson. Apparently, this is collectible. I mean, I think it would be cute if, I hadn't just seen what I'd seen. People like Mickey Mouse. I've always thought the people who like Mickey Mouse never lived with mice, personally.
I mean, if he was catching the rats and mice, then I don't see the obsession with rats and mice in the town.
Did Joyce give us a straight answer when I asked if other little villages like this had rat catchers? Or did she just sort of blow it off?
You just sort of blew it off.
What's that town in Germany? Hamelin?
Hamlin,
Yeah.
should we get a flute?
We might need to find a horn player. How lively is the pub?
How lively? There's a couple people there. You've got the bartender behind it. At the end of the bar, you see an older gentleman. His hair is a little scraggly, but he's got like the fisherman's cap on. And then there's a couple people about middle age playing some darts.
And is there a waitress, or do we have to order lunch at the bar?
You have to order it at the bar.
You said something about steak and kidney, Paul?
Yeah, something like that. When we checked in, were we talking to the owner?
Yes, you were talking to the owner, which was a George Fletcher, but he said everyone just calls me Young George.
Young George. We want to talk to Old George too, don't we, folks?
Oh, yes.
Is your father available to chit chat for a bit?
He looks down at the bar at the old gentleman. I was like, he doesn't look too drunk yet.
Well, that's the father there. So thanks.
Yeah.
Amanda, what's that thing they drink here? Is it a shandy? It's like half cider and half beer or something? Because I think we need something a little vivifying.
Yeah, could
We'll wait
work.
for our and let the boys talk to the old drunkard. I need to just sit and breathe for a minute. Are the tables also mouse carved?
Yep. The little glasses, they've got like a little mouse painted on it. And does anyone have Latin?
Tell you, Shirley.
I
How
do.
you put up with Paul?
You can give me you can give me you get this automatically if you have Latin. You kind of, with all the sheer number of mouse and iconography, you remember that mus, M-U-S, is the Latin word for mouse. And the town is called Muscoby.
Yeah, I think that is related. Muscoby. Mouse town. Maybe that's why everything is mice.
Remind me not to visit Tarantula Village or Snakeville.
That's in Italy. Tarantella. Yeah, have a dance.
Yes, Paul, go talk to the old man.
All right.
Andy and I have to recover.
Come on, Tom. Put that in that camera. Just relax. So I'll sidle up next to the old guy. What you drinking?
Goes, the local beer. My son brews it himself.
Oh, if the bartender show up, be like, "Can I have whatever he's drinking?" I'll have
And
a
I'll
beer.
have some scotch.
No problem. They pour you your drinks, and of course, it's one of those beers that they have to pump it up themselves. It's not even gassed.
Name's Paul Martin. How are you?
Better now that I've got myself a fresh pint. My name's George. Ever since my boy's been grown, people call me Old George.
Old George. So we're in town. We're cleaning up the old crap. I lost the old Gertine place.
Old Gertine. Yeah, it was a shame what happened to him.
What did happen? I heard he got in a car accident.
He was out walking, looking for his weekly catch, and got hit by a drunk driver.
No, that's awful.
Yeah, think they think they know better. Just walk. It's not that far.
His place is kind of an interesting old place out there on the woods.
It is. So some woods are those woods are very old.
Yeah,
very old. No axe has ever tasted one of those trees.
Really? So firewood? Did he chop up fallen down trees or?
Exactly. We respect the nature around here.
It's very pretty. Hey, what can you tell us about him?
Old Gertine? Well, he followed in his footsteps, his dad's footsteps, Mr. Oswin. He was the rat catcher when I was a boy. Did quite a good job. And old Gertine himself, Gilbert's what he was called. He took over. He's been maintaining the rat population, making sure that the woods get fed ever since. Been trying to find someone to replace him. He's getting old,
What do you mean the woods getting fed?
Well, we have a little nursery rhyme we have around here. It's like going, but might need something to remind me how it goes.
Oh.
My pint's empty.
We have another, please. Thank you.
Yeah, slides one down. It's like Dad, don't be scaring the visitors.
Oh, it's okay. We like these old folk stories.
He's like, how about I just write it down for you?
Sure.
So he starts kind of scribbling it down, and then he slides this piece of paper over to you.
It's a kind of sing-songy, huh?
Oh, yeah. Used to sing it to go to sleep, sing it to the boy to go to sleep. Now he doesn't like it anymore.
So let's take a look at this. Scritch, scratch, see the rat, bright eyes and twitching tail. Scritch, scratch, chase the rat, cross hill and stream and dale. Excuse me, this beer is pretty strong. Scritch, scratch, catch the rat, hang him by his tail. Scritch, scratch, good old rat, their appetites curtail. Scritch, scratch, no more rats. The children all shall wail. Scritch, scratch, the woods come back, the falling of the veil. What does it mean? I say one.
Well, I think that it's a warning to remember the old ways. We've seemed to be got attracted to our modern times and all, and we don't respect the old ones, the old gods.
I'm gonna roll a psychology. We've been told that Gertine was hit by a car, but I just want to roll psychology to see if that is a
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
06. Look, I can. Well, my attention is there.
You are there. Yeah.
Extreme success.
Yeah. He seems to be
Yeah.
truthful.
Hit by a car.
He's
This place is just damn weird.
So
Mhm.
is that why then that there are so many rat carcasses hung up on the trees?
Yeah, he's just following the old guidance that were handed down through the generations. Back before people could read and write, it was the oral tradition.
Yeah. Can I keep this?
Sure, I've got it memorized. You can keep the picture of the pretty lady too.
Hey, Cheryl, Mandy.
Mhm.
Come over
Anything?
here.
Anything?
Yeah,
on
I
our
mean we
phones?
got some interesting stuff. This here is
Hold on. I'm trying to get a signal.
Give me a luck roll to see if you got cell service.
what's your Wi-Fi password?
Missed it by 2. Can't spend luck on luck.
Nope.
Yeah. Is there a? Ask him if there's a tower somewhere in town. I know it's a small village, but
You ask him. I mean,
I'm sorry, young George.
Oh yes. And what can we do for you? Another round?
Oh, actually, that's an excellent idea. Thank you. Also, there are some supplies that we didn't bring with us, and I would like to order them online, but I cannot get a signal on my phone. Is there a place that has a better? It's like is there a carrier? What are they? An antenna, in the church tower or someplace?
Phone. What we got a phone here if you need to call someone up. Just
Right.
dial it yourself.
Amanda, how did we get contacted about this job? Did you ever speak to Joyce on the phone?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, George. These shandies are delicious, and I'm sure lunch is going to be very refreshing. The old house was kind of, well, it's not what we're used to. And so, we need to be fortified to do our best work.
Oh, no problem. And I assume you guys ordered some food, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but he goes to the back, and when he hits the door, it kind of swings open. Everyone can give me a spot hidden.
Oh,
We should all be ordering vegetarian, I think, here.
16.
Woohoo! 100. I win.
72. Not as bad as 100, but will I pass the spot hidden today? Probably not.
No, but not. Maybe good.
16.
All
yeah,
right.
25.
So the Martins, as you're kind of looking out, you see prominently in the kitchen.
Green man.
Yep, you see this carved up there. Yep, a green man.
That's not surprising.
Hmm.
It's very quaint.
Yeah, they love, it's a very historical village.
So it looks like, Cheryl, that it's some sort of tradition. They believe they're feeding the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing this for hundreds of years. So that's what the rats are all.
Right. But I mean, Paul, I didn't see a squirrel or a fox or an owl or a dove or hear a fly on those bodies. So if they're feeding it, did they forget that poison isn't food? Or because it seems like those woods, the trees are alive, but everything else is dead. We should see if they're even worms. And how are we going to get any other equipment if we can't even use an actual phone here?
There's no phone, huh?
There's only landlines. This place is
Very antiquated.
Well,
what's
we're here to do a job. We're here to clean up.
Sure.
Oh, geez. They have electricity here in the pub, though, don't they?
They do.
So you can recharge your camera.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
We're just going to have to make do with what we've got.
Well, how about the extra lighting?
There's a local.
Go ahead.
There's a local.
There's a local store.
Yeah, general store.
Yeah.
I look over George.
Well, we got the gift shop. You get some nice little ashtrays with a mouse on it. You could get maybe like some doilies. We got a mouse knitted into that.
Well, look,
what was the name of that?
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the place where they took gold Gertine? Apple Quartz or something like that? Something stupid. What was that name?
Appleford.
Appleford. That makes more sense than Apple Cord.
What do y'all folks do?
Scotch.
What do you guys all do when you need rope or plastic bags or garbage bags or?
Well, we don't use plastic. That's bad for the trees.
Well, what we're here to do is to clean up Gertine's house and fix the place up somewhat. So we're going to need something that we can stuff a whole bunch of dead animals in and clean up that area. Nobody's going to want to come and stay here and have dead rats hanging from the trees.
Yeah, Joyce told us that there was an interest in the village to increase tourism. And
well, that's her dream. But
well, you got a gift shop, so obviously you want to sell your mouse art.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It would be nice. I could sell some more beer too if we had some people.
Yeah, but you got to clean up the. Nobody wants to see that. I'm sure all that's not very good for the forest either, because I think that he's been using a lot of poison.
Oh, that's not natural.
That's true. Yeah, we what we need is a way to carry away these poisons that we're concerned have killed the wildlife behind his cottage.
Well, nearest that town I could think of would be Appleford. They might have a market.
And how far a drive is Appleford from here?
It's about 20 miles crow's fly. So it's probably take you about 45 minutes because it's going to be kind of a meandering road to get there.
It looks to me like we're not going to be able to really start cleaning until tomorrow. Maybe we drive out to Appleford and get what we need, come back here, stay tonight, and then go back out there and start cleaning.
Yeah, maybe talk to Gertine while we're there.
I don't think they'll let us in. We're nobody. We're not relatives or anything like that. In a hospital?
We're not relatives, but we are people who would really rather not die of poisoning while cleaning his property,
Probably old fellow doesn't understand how toxic those things are. If given that he seems to have stopped reading the paper in 1975.
My father used arsenic to kill ants. So, they just don't know. Well, let's finish our lunch. Enjoy it. It's delicious. And hopefully we'll be able to, here's my card. We do industrial cleaning, and I give that to them. And we try to be environmentally friendly.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And we're happy to have you staying with us.
Cool.
How are we doing on gas, Paul? For the truck?
We filled up. I think we can easily get. Hopefully, they have a gas tank there, a gas station. in Appleford.
If they've got a hospital, they have to.
Yeah, they should. They have to.
I mean, service stations, even a small village often has a service station. You don't think that the rodent in the engine caused any trouble?
I'm sorry. Oh, the what?
The rodent that was caught in the something trans something belt, whatever you found.
Well,
The
in the
dead rat.
Serpentine Belt? No, but we made it out here well enough. Oh, by the way, George, do you have a hose I can use? I need to wash some nastiness out of my engine.
Yeah, we got a hose. We got a hose.
I'm going to go out and do that. You guys keep
Okay.
eating. I'll be back in a minute. So that's basically what I'm going to do is go out there and just spray it off.
Doesn't cause it. No problem.
Or is there do they sell a newspaper in the pub?
Yeah, they probably have a paper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll flip through with the paper while we wait for the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's obviously not a local paper. It's probably the paper for the nearest city up here in England, and it has stuff whatever was going on in September of 2021. So
there's some relationship to the modern era here, which is a relief to me. Yeah. So, George, I'm guessing it gets dark around 5:30 this time of year.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So we'll have time to get to Appleford and back and enjoy your hospitality and perhaps more of your fine local brew, as long as we don't dawdle too much.
sounds good.
All right.
You guys climb into the vehicle and head off to Appleford.
Indeed.
Once you get, maybe a mile or so away from Muscoby, you start getting bars on your telephone.
Aha.
So, and you can make it to Appleford without any issue at all.
So garbage bags, big ones.
Is there something like a big box somewhere, or do we? Because I want to get as much Tyvek as and respirators, but that might require what to settle for other stuff.
Shirley, did you ever listen to what I say? I mean,
Paul, if I listen to everything you said,
I have respirators in the trunk. I expected there to be mold.
yes. Did you anticipate that there would be hyper arsenic and billions of rat corpses?
No, but we
can't stop into town for anything. Everything we take, we have got to take from here. How many industrial garbage bags do we have?
Well, that's what we've got to get in town.
Well, that's what I'm asking about. You see what I deal with?
My flask.
Whatever.
You're a saint, Shirley.
All right.
Amanda, do you think we should try the hospital? I mean, the visiting hours must be limited, but this Gertine guy sounds like he'd be real local color.
Oh, yes. I think we really should maybe get a little bit of insight. I'd also like to make a call to our heavy chemical disposal vendor, see if they have somebody that might be able to meet us out here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'd really like to check TikTok because, my God, I don't want to be shut off like that for another 48 hours.
What do you look at on TikTok, Shirley?
That's the thing. The algorithm decides for me. It's so much fun.
All right. The shopping is no problem. When you get to Appleford, yep, it has a hospital. It has several Essos gas stations, and whatever their local large markets are that would have pretty much whatever you would need. If you're looking for specialized respirators, but Paul brought those, so you don't have to worry about them. Yes, flashlights.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
we know Paul brought them because he won't shut up about them.
Yeah, and since we need, because we didn't know that we'd be working in a place without electricity, we should get like whatever the best batteries, and like there must be some like decently bright LEDs we could use for just sort of backlighting and things that we don't have to worry about running out of batteries after 2 hours.
Right.
So yeah.
Duracell, the bunny batteries.
All right. Yep, no problem. You guys get your shopping done and everything. Shirley and Tom, you were talking about trying to go by the hospital?
Yeah. All of it, yeah. Sure.
All right. So it is a community hospital. It looks relatively new. And when you come in, of course, the receptionist looks up and she's like going, were you needing some help?
Now, Mandy, you're the people person.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Just got choppy there for a second.
So the receptionist hospital looks up. She goes, yes, may I help you? Were you ill? Injured?
I believe we've got a patient named Gertine that was in a hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
We've been approached about some legal matters, and we'd like to speak to Mr. Gertine if possible. They're talking about selling the house, and there are things within the house, personal materials. We'd like to, if he's awake and available, we'd like to speak to him.
Can you give me a charm or a persuade?
I've got a 65 in persuade. So
there you go. Yeah.
Given the dice so far, 55.
Like,
sticking right in.
Yeah, that should be no problem. Yeah. She's like going, yeah, I understand he's on some pain medicine, but
Yes, we won't take up any more time.
Visitors, so they'll be.
Yeah, see, we understand he has no family. That's one of the reasons that we want to check with him.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Badge or something?
Yeah, they give you the little badge and they tell you where he is on his room number 237. So.
You've been very kind, thank you. Okay, Amanda, Jesus. He's going to scare the hell out of me. So you go in first and warm him up. Do we want to get... Oh, yeah, well, I guess we have to get this. All right. So Tom, try to be subtle, I guess, because I don't know what the hospital rules are.
All right. You guys make your way down the hallway, and the hospital doors are all open. And when you walk in, you see an old man with a really long beard. Looks like almost your stereotypical mountain man. But he ironically, they've got him in his hospital gown, and also kind of it takes away a part of the edge. And he looks up. He goes, "Are you my new doctors? Can I go home now?" No?
Oh, hi there. Oh, we're not quite your new doctors.
New nurses?
We would like to have a talk with you, just briefly, if that's okay. It looks like you're coming along relatively well.
Well, still can't walk around without assistance, but I need to get home. I got work to do.
Now, how long have you been checked in here?
Oh, a little over a week. The National Health Service sometimes can be slow.
And there's a lot of people that are missing you. We're really all rooting for your recovery.
I'm sure.
What exactly happened to you? How did you get hurt?
Oh, I was out looking for some rodents to catch. I'm the rat catcher. I don't know if you knew that, but my job is to make sure that the rodents get to where they're supposed to be. And I wasn't looking, and some foolish person came along and hit me with their car. And just kept going didn't even stop.
Did you get a look at this person?
I didn't. I mean, sorry.
And did you get a look at the car?
It was a red Fairlane.
Does that sound like Joyce's car?
It is not.
Okay.
Now, when you say getting the rats to where they're supposed to go, that's where you would always bring the caught rats? And where is that again? Just so curious. This is absolutely fascinating. You do
the
such
trees.
a great job.
The trees, they need to be fed. If they don't, they'll come for you. If they're not fed, they're going to come for you. They're always hungry.
Oh my goodness. How fascinating. This is how you've always dealt with them before?
Yeah, it's how my father dealt with them, how my grandfather dealt with them, and I assume how my great-grandfather dealt with it. We keep the village safe.
Now, when you say dealt with them, are you saying them as in the trees, them?
Yes, that's what I said, the trees. The trees, they're hungry. They're old. They're so old.
What a fascinating legend and lore. This is. Does anyone else in the town help you with this, or is it just you?
No, that's my job. I'm the rat catcher. I catch the rats. I tie the rats. I give them to the trees. You gotta hang in by their tail.
Who is supposed to take over when you're gone?
I don't know. I've been asking around trying to have someone take over. People don't want to do an honest work anymore.
If we found someone that was very interested and lived locally, would you train them?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Great story.
Well, I would think in a village that has as much respect for tradition as Muscoby, that there would be children who wanted to be your apprentice. You've never had any little trainees?
I have no, I haven't. The villagers are cruel. They said I was a smelly child. I smelled of chemicals, and they wouldn't play with me. And then they told their kids to stay away from me. But they're wrong.
There are a lot of chemicals in your shed, aren't there?
Of course. You've got to catch a lot of rats to feed a lot of trees.
Where do you get all your rats from?
Oh, they're everywhere. It's so strange. They're just always rats, more and more rats.
Has there ever been a story of what the trees have done if they hadn't been fed?
No, not that I've heard of.
Well, you said
Who would feed the trees?
Well, they said they would get you if you didn't. What do you mean by that? I mean, if nobody's ever seen the trees get anybody, how do you know that they're going to do it?
That's what we're told. They pass down. The song.
Yeah, Scritch, Scratch,
Scritch, scratch, see the rat. Yeah, you've heard it. You know what we're talking about. The hills are everywhere. The rats.
Isn't there a song that talks about there being no more rats? But you say that there's a lot of rats.
Yes, if there's no more rats, the children will wail as the woods come back to lift the veil. Doesn't sound good to me.
No, indeed, it doesn't. Keith, how does the old fellow look? Is he going to recover in a few days?
No.
Or is he on his way out and doesn't know it?
He's a 70-some-year-old man with a broken hip. That's usually not
broken
a
hip,
good,
maybe some other, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually not a good sign.
Yeah. Mr. Gertine, since you didn't, because the villagers were mean to you when you don't have a family of your own and an obvious successor, do you have a will? Who is responsible for not just your job, but your property if something should happen, if you can't go home soon?
Oh, the properties is owned by the city, technically. We signed my great grandfather signed a contract that said as long as we maintained it and were rat catchers that they would let us live there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we need to speak to the village about getting you home as soon as possible.
I appreciate it. I need to be home soon.
You do.
Yes. Are you ever worried that the poison you use to catch the rats will hurt the trees or hurt the forest?
Oh no. No, the forest is strong.
Mm.
Have you known anything that actually did hurt the trees in the past?
No, we don't hurt the trees.
Oh, I'm not suggesting
Yeah.
we'd hurt the trees, just if there was any stories of the trees being hurt at some point.
No, not that I know of.
Oh, there's a painting in your parlor of the Green Man. Is
Yes.
that a family heirloom? It's very well painted.
Ah, yes. Yes, my grandfather painted that. Said he saw it.
He saw the Green Man
Mm-hmm.
just a couple of generations ago in the 20th century.
Is it? Yeah. Yes. The 20th. Yeah.
Well, how remarkable.
Where did he see him? Did he ever say?
Said he saw him out there while he was tying the rats up.
Well, I'm going to take another drink from my flask, thinking of that face I saw in the trees, just briefly. Just whole place kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into my head.
And
Yep. Yes, we're going back to the village shortly. Is there anything we should say to anyone for you?
just let him know that the old Gertine will be back, and I'll make sure they're safe.
It's very encouraging. Thank you. It's very nice to meet you.
Oh, you too. You sure you're not my new doctor, though?
Oh, no, just concerned citizens.
You see the camera there, right? Oh, can you sign this, please? I'm sorry.
It's just two little lines right here. Here. This right there. You'll be good.
Sure. All right. So you guys head out and then take a break as requested.
All right. Take a 5-minute break. Be right back.
All right. So you guys finish up at the hospital. You head back, meet back up. Were you wanting to do anything else in Appleford? I think we lost Stu again. Oh, no, he's back.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'd like to get back to the house and get something done today.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of light left, and
well, and for the show, I mean, we can arrange things so that it looks good for the show. we don't have to actually, because when we're actually doing the cleaning, we need to be,
Yeah. Well, and part of that's good for the show too. We want to be covered up. We want to show appropriate care.
Exactly.
But a lot of the work, well, it's like two shots of us shoveling, and then we really suit up and get it all done and out of the way, and then
it'll look good. I think
I'll be curious to see what the forest floor looks like underneath all those bones.
It's probably rich and full of all kinds of
It might be really
nutrients if they're not poisoned.
Take that stuff into the garden. Oh, right. A test for those.
Did he say anything about actually poisoning the animals? It sounded like you said that he just hung them up by their tails.
And he mentioned poisoning the rats. He said he had to kill a lot of rats.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, he wasn't concerned about the harm to the forest. He was full guns on just killing whatever, using
feeding
anything.
the forest.
Feeding the forest.
I wonder where that story came from.
A bunch of dumb
Quite
farmers.
peculiar.
Oh, yeah. There's all those, you have different theories, right? About Ring of Rosies, about the plague, but then that somebody else says about the War of the Roses. And we don't know because, the English don't remember anything. They just keep chanting.
Did we notice when we were in Muscoby whether they had like a school or a library or anything like that?
There was a school on the map.
There was a school, but it also
But it didn't
said
seem to be in use.
it
which is
said
why,
it was closed. It was a closed school.
That's why I asked the old fellow about having students. It seemed, how these places, these rural places, everybody leaves for bigger places, and I think they might not have enough students to maintain a public school.
I was just thinking about what Manda said. Maybe there's some history to this legend that's here and why everybody has green men in their houses.
I said that too, Paul, but of course you listen when Manda says it. Jesus Christ.
If I listened to everything that you said.
Mimicry is even cheaper than sarcasm, Paul.
Whatever. Let's just get something done. And I think I might have at least a rudimentary chemical test kit. I am a chemist after all.
Even I have some background, so I can try to back you up. Mm-hmm. You can test for heavy elements and things like that. I might
be able to tell. I mean, if I just smelled the ground, I might smell formaldehyde or something that we should be able to just see what bottles he has in the shed. We'll know what he's using.
Yeah, well, some of those things sounded so out of date that we might not recognize them, and certainly it shall be disposed of. But and hopefully some of it breaks down. So, what time do we get back to Muscoby after our excursion?
Probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
So after school, what's the street life in the village of Muscoby?
So there are a few people going around, looks like most of them commute out of town to go to work, and they come here to stay. You do see some people that it looks like it's obvious that they are not locals.
Mm.
They're, of course, headed toward the pub.
Children?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably keeping the children away in some little room where they whittle away at mouse-themed furniture and knick-knacks.
I wonder if that artist lives in town.
Well, she described him as like he was maybe dead, but maybe I just assumed that. Yeah. Is there
like there's a lot of stuff. He's dead? Okay.
Yeah. He worked in the 20s.
Yeah. It was when it was quaint to carve. I mean, first of all, wood carving, rare skill anyway nowadays, but also the idea that you'd use rodents as a theme. So do we need anything in town, or we're just going to go up to the house and do what we can before we lose light?
We only have about an hour and a half left of light.
Well, we can go up to the house and at least organize what we're going to do tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Paul.
And see which way the light's going to come in through which windows.
Right. The morning, you're right. Yeah.
All right. All right. You drive up there, you get to the house. Everyone give me a spot hidden.
91.
96.
Yeah, wow, those dice are terrible.
So bad.
I caught a glimpse of something.
All right.
51 out of.
As you're coming up around the corner, the woods look like now they're about 3 foot from the fence.
I swear the woods are closing in on that house.
Well, you know, I'll bet you $500 you can't spend the whole night in this house, Manda.
No, thank you.
It's definitely, the light has shifted a lot, but you are not crazy. Like I wonder if there's some soil subsistence or something, because they're definitely the hedge and I could have sort of put my arms out before and walked between the hedge and the fence, and now there's no way.
Yeah, look, that post, I know I saw that post and it was cleared of trees. Now there's 2 branches touching it.
No, look.
Which explains how a rat can fall on your shoulder, because that doesn't explain it.
Trees just don't move. Look, we can look at my footage. I've been filming this place all day, all right?
Yeah, let's show us a video of this exact gate.
These must be English swimming trees. What's it look like around their bases? Has the soil been disturbed? Is the leaves all pushed out of the way? You guys are imagining it.
Stones turned over, moss on different sides.
This particular post, look how it's split, and there's that giant eye right there. No other post is like that. This one here was clear. We walked right by it. I know you got footage of this one, Tom.
Yeah. I'm looking.
All right, Tom. So while you're looking at that, you can give me a sanity roll.
Oh no!
It's like working with children.
Hey, 52. I passed a roll. That's nice.
So as you're watching the footage, yeah, it does look like the woods were a little further back. But what really grabbed your attention was you kept seeing faces form and deform in the leaves. It's like when you swung by, like if you freeze a frame, yeah, there's definitely a face there. But, is it just that phenomena where people tend to see human faces where they're not?
No, I will keep the face thing to myself because I am a bit intoxicated.
Tom, you look a little sweaty. Do you need something? Cup of coffee, cup of milk?
No, I'm okay, but no, something's weird. It's got to be the light. I mean, if you look, the tree, it looks like the trees have gotten closer. You're right.
Okay, let's go. I'm sorry. Paul, was there anything like a yardstick or tape measure or something in the shed?
I don't know. I wasn't looking for anything like that. I can go look if you want. But, are we ever going to do anything? Are we just going to pretend like the forest is moving and that it's like we're here to clean and we haven't done a damn thing to clean. So I'll go look for your measuring tape or whatever and
Paul.
See what I can find.
We had no idea what we were looking at here until we got here. All right.
Whatever.
You didn't.
I'm going to go look for a measuring stick.
That's a word.
So while Paul is headed to the workshop, what's everyone else doing?
I'm lamenting the fact that my flask is now empty.
And where are you? Yeah. And inside the house or outside?
I want to go check on that bucket,
Okay,
the brew bucket thing up in the attic.
gotcha. Shirley?
I'm looking at functional like room to room stuff. I guess
Okay.
I'm focused on the parlor, and that reminds me that I want to get Paul when he grows up to check the chimney, and I also want to see if there's firewood somewhere, because night shoots are going to be a lot nicer if we can actually use the fireplace.
Gotcha. And Manda?
I'll go in with Shirley as well, and I'll make sure that the blinds and shutters can be opened up to get maximum sunlight in for the morning. Just start getting everything prepped. So come in, get the light in, get rolling.
Gotcha. All right. So, Paul, you make it out to the workshop, and you're looking around. Give me a luck roll.
Oh, this is my luck. I failed. I've got 48 luck and I got 69.
So as you're kind of looking around, you're not finding it. So give me a listen.
Yeah, but I have to keep looking, or
Oh, yeah.
Listen. No, nowhere near. I got 48 out of 25.
All right. So as you're kind of looking, maybe you're bent over, a bucket kind of falls and hits you in the back.
Son of a bitch. I'm going to look up or pick up the bucket.
When you look up, you see 3 rats kind of staring down at you, and they almost got this like chittering laugh.
Is there something on the workbench or anything? Hammer or
Oh yeah.
I just pick up the hammer and fling it at them.
All right. They scatter pretty quickly. Okay.
I throw the fucking bucket down. I didn't find anything. I'm fuming at the moment, but I'll calm down and go back in and tell them I can't find anything.
All right. So we'll have you leaving there when we cut to Tom. Tom, you were going up into the attic.
Goddamn people just want to film some shit, and it's just like, we need a bucket. I brought all the mess.
Oh, you're on my side.
You go when you make it up there. You see the pickle bucket is tipped over. And then you don't even have to make a listen. You hear the hundreds of sets of paws kind of moving around in the rafters.
Yeah, I'll shine a light around. I mean, I already have a light to look at the bucket. But...
Yeah. So when you shine it around, just hundreds of pairs of beady red eyes are, and they're everywhere, just looking at you. And then he swears that when you swing the light back to the spot, the eyes are a little bit closer.
We have to get cleaning done today. We're here to clean. God, stupid rat.
I have to fumigate.
Son of a... All right, climbing out of the
All right, so you start climbing down. Shirley and Manda, you guys were in the parlor, and Manda, and when you walk in, first thing you notice is that the painting of the Green Man, whereas before he was just kind of standing there, now it looks like he's kind of leaned forward, and his face is definitely in the foreground of the painting where it wasn't before.
That's strange. I don't recall the stance in the picture painting that before. This surely that doesn't look like it did before, does it?
Well, as you say, lighting changes a lot, but I don't think that looks the same.
Yeah,
at
lighting
all.
wouldn't change the look of a painting.
Because there was
It's
there was a lot of edge between his head and the frame. And now it's all just
I only have one drink back at the bar. Just like you said, Shirley.
All right. Both of you give me a spot hidden.
I also want to spot bullshit roll on Amanda's sobriety.
53 out of 55.
22 is got to be good. It's hard.
All right. So you notice that behind him, like where his arms are, they start moving and they kind of whip out. And you guys can give me a sanity roll for that.
Pass.
Wow, I passed too.
Just 1 point.
6 down.
But then the vine, his arms whip out and these vines come whipping at you.
Ah!
One at each of you. So you can, do you want to try and dodge or?
I really hate that I just had an 11 for sanity and I'm going to fail my dodge, but I'm going to dodge.
Oh yeah, I'll try to get.
All right. So we'll do Shirley first.
82.
Oh, I got a hard.
Yeah.
So it whips out and it whips around your neck doing 9 points.
Oh,
And then Manda.
Oh my God. 76.
Oh,
I think I crashed into Shirley.
yeah, I rolled a 0-1.
Ah!
So Shirley, give me a sanity roll as you see essentially the vine go through Amanda's head and her brain kind of comes out with it as it does 18 points of damage. I'm assuming, Amanda, you don't have that many hit points.
Oh, actually, no, 11.
Failed, of course. Sanity. Also, I've only got 2 hit points left myself. So
Yes. So you hear Shirley yell, Tom, and Paul, you hear it also.
What?
I'm running inside.
Make my way into that room.
So you guys kind of merge at the same time. Tom, you're coming through Paul, you're coming through the front. Tom, you're coming down the hallway, and you see Amanda's body almost like lifted up on this vine coming out of the painting like a marionette with her brain at the end of it. Shirley's being choked, and you guys can give me a sanity for that also.
66 is a fail.
All right. 1d6.
Apparently, I'm fine.
6.
Never liked her.
I'm losing 6 sanity. I'm freaking the hell out. And Paul's just like,
All right.
huh.
Paul still loses 1. And
I'm going to run to Shirley and try to pull the thing off of her neck.
Okay. First, Tom, give me an intelligence roll.
Hey, my terrible dice have saved me from one.
Hey, yeah.
That's an 87.
Nope. All right. So you go over and you grab Shirley.
I'm trying to pull the thing off of her neck.
Okay. Give me a strength roll. Oh, I rolled bad.
Oh, I lost my dice. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. Nope. Got a 77 out of 50.
Oh,
I got to be strong.
Yeah, I got a 97 out of 125. So it continues to squeeze. And Shirley, I will give you one chance to try and break free.
is that a strength also?
Strength, or I'll give you even a fighting brawl if you want.
See which is more promising. Strength is better. Oh, I rolled a 4.
Oh, nice. I got a hard. So
Uh,
I mean,
You were the strong one in the family.
right, but yeah, 4 is better than extreme.
all right, yeah, you are able to kind of rip it off, and you feel like actual like plant material still embedded in your neck, but this thing is stepping out of the painting.
So I'm wrapping my arms around Shirley then and running to the door with her, pulling.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Don't have time for that. We got to get out of the house.
Yeah, drag me. Fine.
All right, and Tom?
Did they start a fire in the?
They didn't. They just said, "Hey, maybe we should."
Well, we're not going to stop.
Yeah,
and,
well, in that case,
kindle a flame.
I'm getting the hell out of this house.
yeah, we got to run out of the house.
All right. So when you guys run out of the house, I assume you're running to the car. You hear like it step on Manda and kind of squish a little bit more as it steps across her. You get out to the car, and the car just has hundreds of rats sitting on the car, chittering at you.
What they want? They
Revenge for the rat shit.
I'm getting into the car.
All right. So as you get to the car, they start biting at you. Do you want to try and fight it?
Yeah,
or-
I'm gonna fight back. These
Yeah.
rats try to bite me. What the? Oh, an 08. That's an extreme success.
All right, yeah. You kind of like grab a rat and throw it and brush it out of the way. What's Paul and Shirley doing?
I am going to, with one sweep, try to push all the rats off the trunk, pop open the trunk, and grab some poison of some sort that I can spray.
Okay.
The equipment's all in there.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, so they're going to be biting at you while you kind of do that. So I'll see how they. So they're going to. Some of them are going to get a little bite on you and stuff, and 2 points of like damage as
Right.
they nibble at you. But you get a spray.
yeah. I'll
Hand
pull
me
out
the
something
keys,
and I'll
Paul.
pump it, and I'll spray it at the thing coming at us.
Okay. All right.
It's,
Yes.
Fungicide or a
Or you-
herbicide or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that
Actually,
hits it. Okay, yep. So that
Shirley,
was
get in the
called.
car.
So when you hit it, it does kind of pull back from it, and you see some of the leaves kind of like curl up. But once the mist kind of goes away, it starts walking again, unless you're going to spray again. Shirley?
I'm gonna stamp on as many rats as I can while I try to crawl back into the rear of the Land Rover.
Okay.
So is that a fighting brawl, I guess?
Yep.
Or just a? Oh, that's a dismal failure. That's a
Oh,
93.
yeah. They start biting. They do 2 points to you.
Well, that's all I had left.
Yeah, so you kind
I
of collapse, and you see rats just like kind of
Really?
start piling on top of her and start.
I try to move over to where she is and pull her up out of the rats. And I'm going to yell at the thing, "What do you want from us?"
Did Paul mentioned before that he leaves the keys in the ignition, right?
Give me
Do
a luck roll. Yeah, give me a luck roll. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's him.
32.
Yes. Or maybe it's like the stereotype. You bring down the little flap, the sun visor. Keys fall out.
I'm starting the car.
Okay, so you start the car, and it kind of sputters, but it does kick in, And when you had left the air vents on, it just starts spraying blood as the rats that were in the engine get all ground up.
It's turning off the air kit.
All right, Paul
Rat
and
conditioner.
yeah, rat condition. Paul, what are you doing?
Well, apparently at this moment, I'm sort of dragging Cheryl because she's dead.
Yeah,
and I realize that the car is starting to pull away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to. There's nothing I could do. So I'm going to. I try to pull her forward, and then I just turn around and I start running behind the car.
Right. Give me a sanity roll as you kind of leave your wife behind.
I passed.
But
I still couldn't.
Yeah, she was such a bitch.
No, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You only hate her when you don't.
Yeah, that's right.
I lost 4 points.
4 points, yeah. As you can see them start just like biting. Some of them are actually starting to burrow into maybe like her gut. And
well, I'm not looking back anymore.
Yeah. So you get in the car and Tom, you punch it, I'm assuming? Because the thing's moving. Give me a drive auto.
Well, it's an 08, which is a hard success.
Thank God.
Nice. You take off down the road and you see as you look back in the one mirror, things may be closer than they appear. It kind of fades away. Therefore, you see it swing. It misses the vehicle, and then you hear some more crunching of rats under the wheels. But with that good of a drive roll, you get away and you're headed down to Muscoby, where I'm assuming you will not stop.
Correct.
And keep going. And that's where we will close it out with the cruel loss of Shirley and Amanda. So, like to know what was happening?
Yeah.
So the green man there, he was a nature spirit. He'd went into the church, you would have found like some even more green man sculptures and everything. And back to Roman times, the god Apollo, of how they started sacrificing rats because they'd found that the rats just lived here in abundance underneath the ground everywhere. And so they just passed on the tradition of sacrificing rats. Oh, Gertine, it was just a fluke accident that he got hit by a car. And all the people are just weird because they're just left alone and in this weird kind of village, but they weren't trying to conspire against you or anything. And so when the trees weren't fed for over a week, it starts coming after you. And then the rats, they're tired of being sacrificed, so they're trying to keep you there. Bye.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
That was really weird, though.
Yeah. Yes.
We were stuck between the rodents and the ancient place. There was no way
You know
to
what's funny?
satisfy them both.
When I first saw the cover of the scenario, like I say, I picked it up in 2018, I thought it was going to have something to do with Brown Jenkin. But
I know, yeah.
But nothing like that at all.
Yeah,
Which is a pleasant surprise.
And it was partially because of the illustration. And the only thing I know about the inside, because I'd flipped through it in my friend's car, is that one of the characters, and I assume it's Gertine himself, looks like Scott Dorward. Like if there's a joke.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, he does.
It's the only thing that I saw because I didn't read it. I just flipped through the pages. It's like, that's a joke. That's an in-joke.
Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Stuart Lively, David Gasaway, and myself, with Keith Craig as the Keeper of the Secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.
Thank you.